core childhood memory for me was walking out the local grocery store, Stop and Shop to be exact, 4 steaks, ribeyes in my pants. 8 years old.
Shoplifting steaks.
Packed in like a small boy saying Al Qaeda. That's fucked up. Retract that statement. My dad shoved the steaks down the pants.
You're going to do one thing and you're going to do it well.
You're going to hold up straight. You're going to walk out of here.
Because why would they suspect a kid if you're stealing steaks?
They never. And I got good at it.
I'm sure you did.
Shoving a lot of shit down there. Salmon fillets.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Growing up with an addict was no joke.
Yeah. I
No
can't
joke.
imagine.
I feel like one of the things that we always connect on is like addict past.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had an addiction, thank God.
Yeah.
But growing up with someone that did, it was like there are clear signs. And I feel like I relate so much to the behaviors and tendencies because I was raised with them. So a lot of the things that growing up made me realize like, fuck, this isn't a normal childhood. But I'm so happy, right? Like I talk about the breathalyzer story where like my dad would drink too much. He had the breathalyzer in the car because he got a few DUIs. Whoa! 8 years old.
Out of breath.
Horrible, but great. You know what I mean? Like really pushed me to a place that I knew I could do anything.
Yeah.
And like the worst days of the worst days, I remember him being so belligerent and so fucking abusive. And it's like a point of power. I'm like, nothing could be worse than this. The bar could not be lower than this. And talk about resilience.
I think that's like a core, like character development, 100%. Like it sucks that you have to go through it, but I think if you had not have gone through that, you'd be a totally different person.
100%.
Totally, everything about you would be different.
Yeah.
Every single thing.
It's like when we were getting screamed at and you were being called the racist by one of the clients and we were just getting fucking reamed out. I'm like, I've seen worse.
Exactly.
I'm like, you cannot say anything. Yeah. Light work.
Yep.
You know?
Totally. Like I think that's the tough part, especially either growing up with an addicted parent or being an addict yourself, of either you can put yourself or your children or your family through so much hell. Yeah. And then when hell does show up on your doorstep, you're like, normal day.
Unfazed.
Almost,
honestly, I lock in more with the chaos.
Same.
When it's like fucking shit is just breaking around me, thrive in the chaos. It's like, whew, putting out an old pair of shoes.
Yep.
You know?
Comfortable.
Lock in.
I feel like I can like figure this out. This is nothing.
You get a little rush of the kookiness. And you're like, we are back.
It's like a whole different high. It's a high in of itself.
It's a high in itself.
The chaos itself is a high. And that's, I think, hard about addiction too, because you not only get wrapped up in the substance or the gambling or whatever it is, and the instability or the unmanageability part of it, you get addicted to that as well, because it's a repetitive day in and day out, right? It's something is up, always up. That's why you're always waiting for the shoe to drop, the last shoe to fall. But I think with that, surviving in the chaos, what happens, and this is just speaking from my experience, when there's nothing and it's just stillness, I'm like, well, I gotta do something crazy because like this is uncomfortable.
Yep. Yeah, I felt like over the past few months there's like a lot of different shifting factors and I'm like, I haven't had a good fucking crash out in a while. Like you all have been lucky. You haven't seen no fucking kookiness. Yeah. Like I kind of want to go crazy. Yep. You know? Yeah. And I think when things are really stable and you have like a good base. Yeah. If you're in a good spot, it's good. But then you're itching for a little chaos. Yeah. It just makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it does. That's where I've struggled because then you're like, I think this happens with relapse too. Like you can get good. You're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm done. This is hell, blah, blah, blah. Then you get to the other side of it and then you're like, I got to do it again. You know what I mean? Like, let's get back on the roller coaster. Fuck it. It wasn't that bad. I'm here now. You know, I'm alive and I'm bored now. So I think that's the definitely the downfall for me is like the struggling. Like my life has been so great. Been able to take a vacation. You know, I'm not addicted anymore.
It's been what, like 10 years now?
10 years from.
I feel like you relapsed 3 years ago.
almost coming up on 3, yeah.
3 years.
No. I relapsed 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Was out on a run for about 2 years. Came back.
That's right.
Yeah.
So 2, little blip, 3.
Yeah.
So really like 5-ish, right?
Yeah. Emotionally, probably gained like 7 years.
Okay.
Sobriety. I feel like every year is like a couple years under my belt.
100%.
But
do you feel like the addiction has affected your attachment style in relationships? Because I'm seeing that come up a little bit more on like more of an anxious attachment style as I'm like really starting to put myself out there. I'm like, how am I showing up? And as I'm kind of putting myself in uncomfortable situations, I'm realizing the reverberations of what happened throughout the first 18 years of my life and those behaviors, and like not having a wicked stable male base growing up and not knowing if this person was around or not. I even, it was this past week, someone walked in and surprised me. Just like walked into the room. Yeah. And it was almost like someone fucking threw a haymaker at me. I was like, it was like an out of body reaction. And then I just kind of sat there and I was like, why did I react like that? Yeah. And it wasn't logic. It wasn't emotion. It was like a physiological reaction. And I'm like, oh, it's probably because my dad would come home drunk and fucking start putting me up against the wall. Yeah. Like, that checks out. Okay, let's try to rewire that. And that kind of infuses into, like, how I show up in relationships and why I show up in certain dynamics. Do you feel like you've kind of reflected on that? Because you've been in a healthy relationship for quite some time now.
Yeah, and I think there's always, like, there's barriers to every relationship. You can call it healthy for you, maybe unhealthy for somebody else. But I think in the relationship that I'm in now, it was definitely it was rough to start. Like it was a rough, like
rough as in toxic or rough as in like we were trying to find a good footing.
I'd say a healthy mix of both, because
or an unhealthy mix of both.
I think it's both of how we like show up in relationships, both of us. So like fear of being rejected, or like fear of feeling unwanted, or like wanting to be chased after, you know what I mean? And like people are like wanting these things and put out, and I was like, oh, you want to chase? I'll show you how to chase. You know what I mean? I'll show up at your doorstep. You know what I mean? And something to be like,
have you showed up at the doorstep?
We have gone at it together at the very beginning. And
like, in what way?
Like there was, oh my God, what happened? He said something and I was like, you're not going to talk to me like that. And he like went off on me, and I was mad at him, and he was mad at me because I was mad at him. You know what I mean? Like we were just going back and forth, and we just kept going back and forth, and he didn't talk to me for like 2 days, and like it was just complete silence. He just wasn't replying. So I was blowing up his phone. Like, you're going to text me right now. You're going to call me, text me, what the fuck's going on? Like, what's up? And he was finally like, okay, so you're down. You know what I mean? Like, you're done with the craziness. And I was like, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. And there was another time.
Fucking dog life's a risk.
We got into an argument, and he says hurtful things sometimes. He hasn't anymore. He stopped because he realized how, like, detrimental they were. He called me a wildebeest. I always... Because I said something about his mom. So, you know, like, Middle Eastern men and their mom, you don't play with their mom. And he was like, call me all different kinds of names. And I was like,
you want to see a fucking wildebeest?
I was like, let's go, buddy. I was like, I'm going to call the United States government right now and say domestic terrorism. You know what I mean? Like, we're up in arms right now. And
you said you're on rocks and I am on fucking solid ground, baby.
We're going right at it right now. You know what I mean? Like,
pick them up, boys.
And like at the end of the day, like he would like we'd be mad, be sitting there, and he'd be like, I just can't stay mad at you. I'm like, I love you so much. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And I've never.
I love you when you're crazy.
Yeah, like it just, and because I think that he saw that like I showed up no matter when he was like sad, upset, like I was like, what's going on? What's going on? He was like, I knew you were like the one, you know. And I was like, it melts my heart every time because I absolutely love him. Like I just would do anything for him. But a normal person, if I did that, they'd be like, restraining order, you know? So I think there is some, and I've done that with other people, and they've been like,
restraining order,
crazy, you are crazy. And I feel like I'm appreciative that he was like, I get it, I'm just crazy, you know?
You were also coming off of like a little bender, right? When meeting him. Do you feel like, let's run the narrative that you're in this state and Martique isn't there, but you're in a very stable state. do you feel like you would engage in that same behavior now, being like as like quote unquote healthy as you are now, or do you think that that's like innate in your being and you're like, no, I'm gonna roll fucking wild?
I say that's hard to ask because I feel like as I was younger, that was like innate part of my being. Like it just, even when I was sober, I was still like cuckoo, you know what I mean? Like just call the police. I got a gun. You know what I mean? Like just because that's how I saw a relationship. My mom was like that. You know what I mean? Like that is how I saw love. So I was like, okay, so I've got to prove my love to somebody. I've got to be fucking erratic and crazy and like whatever. But like when you're meeting somebody else, it's like there's fear in their eyes and you're like, but this is how I love you. You know what I mean? You're like, maybe this isn't right. And therapy, obviously, like dealing with my own stuff. But I do think now, because obviously I've leveled out, I'm stable, he's stable, because he was also like coming 6-8 months off of his little thing when we had about the same amount of time. Now if we get in a fight, it's just like, I'm not arguing with you, bud. You know what I mean? Like we can like sit back and be like,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And if we do, it's like,
yeah, it's when you start to really heal those patterns.
Yeah.
Create space. You catch yourself and you're like, this is how I want to react.
Yeah.
It was so funny because we were talking about this last week and I was like, okay, and I feel really comfortable with you where I usually wouldn't say this. I'm like, here are all the crazy fucking things I'm thinking right now and I want to do it. And you're like, I'm thinking crazier. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, you're like, that's light work.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'll show up right now. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
But you catch those things and like I acted on that thought. Yeah. And then I like retracted it very quickly. And I was like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Like energetically, I don't even need to vibe at this frequency.
Yeah.
This is a old pattern showing up from what the fuck I saw with a whole host of instability. And I have to fucking train myself like a dog and be like, no, biscuit. Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Biscuit. Don't. Good job. Biscuit.
Yeah, it's
hard.
It's very hard to even just now, like just even reactions. Like I really try. I still struggle. I mean, I struggle daily driving, interpersonal relationships. I still struggle, but I'm not. I mean, shit. Like a cry for me that's light work. You know what I mean? Like that is easy. Walk away. Okay, cool. Just cry. But I mean, back in my day, you know what I mean? Like crying. Tables are flipping, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
who
I'm trying
getting
to
in
think
faces.
what the craziest thing that I would do. Some of the fucked up shit I would do is I would use tactics of like more like social isolation, where I would like get with a network of individuals and like spread certain things to make people see and feel a certain way. Yeah. Like social isolation. That was like my tactic of choice. I don't really know why, but I was like, there's going to be a perceived narrative and I'm going to be whispering.
Yeah.
And I realized that there was so much energy that was put into that by like kind of, here, you take this narrative and run. This is the narrative. Pass it along.
Right.
Really good at it.
Yeah.
And that was like the way that I feel like I regained control in some sense. If I didn't have a sense of control.
You control the narrative.
Control the narrative. Yeah. Create the narrative and control the narrative.
And the perception.
Perception's everything. And I was like, why did I do that? And I was like, didn't have control growing up with this addict behavior. You know what I mean? Or it's like, I think even controlling the narrative in between like mom and dad. Yeah. It's like they're separate. So it's like, if I can control the narrative with dad, then I'll be in his good spot. Control the narrative with mom, I could work the stories.
Exactly. Going back and forth between the two of them. 100%. I totally agree with that. But it's interesting. Everybody kind of copes in their own way, right? Like whether they're survivals that way, this way. But I also think it's, for me, like just with your experience growing up, like I was just embarrassed my entire life growing up. So now I deal with I've got to prove myself.
Got it.
I'm always so embarrassed, like didn't have like school clothes, didn't have food, you know what I mean? Like embarrassed of being poor and going to a place where people had stuff and like people could tell, you know, like just growing up in that and thinking that my value is in what people think of me and that I have to go above and beyond. Like I was told that I was stupid my entire life. And so that I had to like, I've always felt like I've had to prove. Like it was always resentment of being like, well, I'm going to show them. That's what I lived off my entire life of, just sheer willpower of I'm just going to show up and just do it. And that's a horrible place to stay in.
It's a horrible place to stay in, but it's a powerful place to be.
It is, yeah.
It really can help you move mountains. I've been in that spot where I'm like, watch me.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm down and out. You think I'm the dog,
right.
and you're the, like, think that.
Right.
Underestimate me, please.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking fuel.
Right.
This is gasoline.
Yeah.
Light it on fire. Burn it down. Like, I will still be here.
I'll build it back up.
Day in and day out.
Watch me 6 times over.
Yep, 100%. You might be stronger and faster, like, but there's no better person with a bit of bitterness and a whole lot of consistency.
Yes. Yeah.
Each and every day, just one stick.
That was killing me though, because like as much as I tried to do that, like approving of like, okay, watch me. You know what I mean? Like watch me. Then I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it just on sheer resentment. 100%. And then I just hated myself at the end of the day and just numbed myself with drugs.
There's a catalyst moment where it could be good for momentum, and then you have to switch the thought process there and be like, wait, why am I doing this? You know? And then reframe it. A big thing that I struggled with, like coming from a family that dealt with addiction, was like carrying around like a dead horse. I remember like the first time that I had like more of a romantic inclination, I reacted fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I realized the way that I reacted was like not me, but it was like how I saw love shown, very similar. And then I just remembered like coming out of the emotional blackout and being like, fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. I love you.
Yeah. But like, what?
Right.
How did I get there?
Right.
What happened? Why did I do that? Like, and almost realizing it for the first time.
Yeah.
It was such a hard thing to see and like to live through. And I held so much resentment towards myself and was just like, how could I act like that?
Yeah.
Like, why did I do that?
Damn.
Why did I really hurt someone that I cared about?
Yeah. I guess you're better than me because I had no shame. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel any shame. I won't apologize. Like that was my motto. Like that was, I have no shame. And because I felt like I had already been so shamed my entire life. Okay. So I felt, what's there to hide? You know what I mean? Like we're going to be hiding all the time. Like what's there to hide anymore? And I think that it did help me. That definitely did help me because I kind of like grew into who I was in high school, and that took me a long way. It carried me a long way. But then it was like, there's no shame. You know what I mean? You get to like deep stuff if there's no shame. Then you show up to places where you're like, maybe there's some shame in this, you know?
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah, you're in it. And
yeah, when you're blacked out, there's no...
Yeah.
It's burnt down.
Yeah, it's done.
And then you like look back and you're like, dang.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, just carry on. You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's start a rebuild.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and that's tough. I mean, thankfully you had like the emotional intelligence and maturity to be like, whoa, you know, I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, if it's fucking that,
yeah, literally. Like, I think there was like time, even like in my early 20s, when I would get like that, and I'd be like, what's wrong with this? Like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Like, what is truly the big deal? Because I just didn't have confident love in myself because I didn't care. And that's another, like, again, it's a double-edged sword. But at the same time, it just wasn't serving me anymore.
Totally. You had to get to the point where you're like,
not helping me.
Got to give back. It's not mine to carry. It's not my fucking bag to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big thing that was really difficult for me when my father passed away and he literally just like drank himself to death. The baggage that I naturally inherited from that situation, that was like not my baggage, was so frustrating beyond belief. And then I had to work through it, and it was like the best thing that could have happened to me because it's like, boy, do I know how to unpack emotional baggage and organize a closet. But in the process of it, felt so heavy to like look at the mountain of stuff that needed to get worked through.
Yeah.
I think that's why, I started this company. I was like, how do we basically, go in and help these people work through their emotional closet, or at least get perspective to be like, yeah, we got to work through this, But yeah, until it happens to you with addiction, or you see it in other people, like you don't realize that how bad it could be, and then not even how bad it could be for like you, but like family members and friends. And
they say addiction is a family disease. It is not like an individual disease. It is a family disease. It affects anything and everything it like touches. Like, and that's what something for me, just a side note of like thinking, well, this is just my problem, right? Until someone sat down and was like, no, this affects the entire world. You're not paying your taxes. You're dirtying the streets. Like, your mom's crying at night. You know what I mean? Like, all these different things that it touches, and I didn't realize how selfish that I was, and the selfishness. And because it does, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Every family unit.
Yeah. Yeah, and working in addiction too, like I really started to see that more. Like after I graduated, I started working at a rehab center, and we were doing marketing. And yeah, just like the people that would come through and their various stories and like how they got there, and then also like the families and how much it really affected the families. People would show up, they'd be like, listen, like I pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get this person help, whatever I can do. Like this is really such a disease.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. It's tough.
But like best thing that could happen, she's like tough. It's a double-edged sword. It's like so hard to see it, but it's like some of the most scrappiest tools in like my toolbox or like my back's up against the wall could figure it out.
Yeah.
No question.
100%. I mean, addicts, I say that all the time. Either if you grew up around addicts or addicts themselves, typically if you grow up around addiction, you typically turn into one. It's like a 50-50 chance typically. You see the behaviors. It's already like in genetics, whatever. I would say every single high percentage of the addicts that are like functioning or that aren't dead, that are still living or like sober, smartest people I've ever met.
Smart.
Or the ones that have grown up around mom has it, you know, mom's an addict, dad's an addict, whatever. Most intelligent individuals.
Emotionally intelligent, socially intelligent, and then also reading energy in people. Because I think it's like, is dad fucked up? Is dad not fucked up?
Yep.
Is this person harm or good? Whether you're a child of an addict or going through addiction actively, these like micro messages, nonverbal, are your keys to failure or success. Like, it's like pressure points.
Yeah.
And you could read these energies where it's like someone's off. You're like, why are they off?
Yeah.
Let me attune.
Yeah.
Okay, here's like me using deductive thinking. Probably these 3 reasons.
Yeah.
Based off of this, probably these 2. I'm assuming I'm going to go with 2.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll.
Yeah. 100%. That and just the sheer willpower of trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to get high every day, what I got to do to come up with money? Just get high, right? And I can distinctly remember I was probably 19. Right around, I just turned 19. Standing in my like one little apartment that I had just gotten. I'm a full on heroin junkie, you know, and just like I can just remember kind of like coming out of a body experience of being like, this is the shit that I see in the movies, and just thinking, this is gonna be the rest of my life, because I didn't know that you could get off of it. You know what I mean? Like, and just having that pivotal moment and being like, okay, like just sheer of just being like, gotta figure it out. You know, like this is the path that I've chosen, and just being like kind of sad in that of just being, you've got to figure it out, you know. But then it's helped. They're so smart, so smart. Like I said, if you need to figure out money, call a crackhead, because they're gonna get some way.
They're gonna figure it out.
When
in doubt, 877 crackhead.
Yeah.
7-Eleven, ask the guy.
Yeah.
He might have some really good advice for you.
Might be illegal, but
just buy him some peanuts while you're in it. If you could tell your younger self one thing, whether it was an addict self or a non-addict self, like what would you tell that individual from like the healed version of where you stand today?
Like my younger self is like a child or like early 20s?
Early 20s.
I would say what I could tell myself. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay if you do the work. If you do the work.
I was thinking it's going to take a while to do the work.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Yeah. But you just got to do the work.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Show up.
Put pen to paper. Show up.
Go to therapy. Question yourself. Do the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was a big thing for me. I was like, I walked out with like a really good fucking toolbox on how to basically like find someone's weakest points and exploit it. And I was like, that is like not healthy and I cannot do that. That's like not going to serve anyone.
Right.
So I'm like, how can I utilize those tools and build something that could actually like help people?
Yeah.
Because it's like, they're fucking skills.
Yeah.
You know?
They're skills. And they have purpose when they need them to. 100%.
There's a reason why you're collecting them.
Yeah.
So now it's like, it's your job to be able to apply that.
Yeah. I think it's always really tough, especially in your early 20s, where you just feel like, what's my purpose?
Why did it happen to me? Why me?
Why me? I'm self-pity. Oh, I loved self-pity.
We're all around pigs and shit.
Of course I was molested. You know what I mean? Of course I'm fat. Of course. You know, we grew up poor. Of course. Like, of course my family's that, you know, it runs in my family. Of course. Like, yes, me. Of course. Thanks, God. Fuck you. But it got to a point where I was just like, honestly, all of that happening, it took me time to realize and just like exchanging with people and like doing better and doing the work because I didn't die. But getting to a point where like people will be like, even just Katie, when I saw her in Florida a couple of months ago, she was like, it could have only been you. Like, no one else. It had to have been you. Like, there was just no other option. Like, you were just put on that path. And there's no one else that I could ever think of that would have been able to survive but you. No one I know that would have been able to drop off in California and stay alive and figure it out and be successful. No one I know. Not a single person. And I was like, kind of brought tears in my eyes, you know, because of all that like struggle and like, and I remember her being like, you could have called me, but I'd be like, but I didn't want to put you in that, you know, I would never would. Because I put too many people through it all the time. You know, it's cute and fun when you're 19, you're sleeping on somebody's couch. But by the time you're 28 and you're like, hey, can I sleep on your couch again? They're like, you should be like, fine now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fun anymore. It's not cute anymore. And I didn't want to keep doing that by the time I got 40. And I was like, this isn't cute and fun. And like, it was all worth it. You know, like all the struggles, all the tears, all the fucking scariness, walking around Los Angeles with no shoes on. You know what I mean? Like, all of it was worth it. And she's right. No one else could have done that but me. I'm sure some people can, but anybody that I know. You probably could. I know if I stuck you out in the middle of Los Angeles, that's because you grew up in that.
Yeah.
You knew how to survive. Somebody else in this? No way.
Yeah. You didn't choose it, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't choose it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, yeah, it's all meant to happen the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't realize it when you're in the thick of it.
I know.
Until
it's
you're
tough.
on the other side.
It's tough.
It's not easy.
I never would have thought. I'd be like, there's no way. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I think that was the reality. I actually, when I saw my dad and my family, I saw them and I was like, because I haven't seen them in so long. It's been a couple years, and just like the clearness I could see in their face, and my dad was like, it's always in the eyes. I can know, like,
you could tell.
Like, he was just like, like, you're you, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, amazing. He could just tell. And that's what I told him. I was like, unfortunately, the reality check for me was overdosing on Christmas Eve and like overdosing twice in the same night and being like, you know what I mean? Like, coming back from that overdose and thinking, damn, they're gonna have to ship my body across the United States. And that's gonna be so fucked up for my little siblings, for my friends, for my grandmother. Like, it creates like a
lump
in my throat.
Yeah.
Because like I love them so much. And inevitably, like, I'm doing this to harm myself, right? But it harms them.
100%.
So I think that was the reality check that I had to get.
It's funny that you said like, oh, I'm gonna die, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, my dad died. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And like, there's a reason why you didn't. And there's a reason why he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like talk to my grandmother, my best friend. It's his mother. And I'm like, there's a reason why I feel like it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, that was so shitty. I'm like, if he didn't pass away, I don't know if I would be here. Yep. It's such a hard reality, especially death and grief. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've lost so many friends to the addiction, and just especially losing somebody like a parent that is like, I can't even imagine it now. Like, I physically cannot imagine losing my father and my mother right now at such a young age. Your frontal lobe still developing, you know what I mean? And to go through that, but then to come out on the other side and be like, if it didn't happen, where would we be? You know? And I was told that early on, some people are going to have to die for you to live. And I was like, that is so fucked up. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard, but it's true. Some people, unfortunately, are going to have to pass to hold a stake in you, to hold some depth and weight in you, to be like, this isn't a joke. You know what I mean? Like, this is not party time anymore. It's not fun anymore. This is real. And you either need to figure it out or you're going to be one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate, but I truly think if he hadn't have passed, you wouldn't own this company. Mm-hmm. You would not be as emotionally like developed as you are right now. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd be in California. Like, I just don't think you. I think you would have went back home. You know what I mean? Like, I just think there's so many different things that would have played into a factor. Yeah. You just want to be you.
Yeah, it's like the best thing that could have happened.
And that is, again, such a terrible thing to say. But there's like freedom in a release like that. Of because
it happened. You know what I mean? It's like any of your shit. It's like maybe in dark and maybe in a stain, but it's like
it's there.
That's your fucking tapestry.
Yeah.
It is. You know what I mean? And that's what's beautiful about it. Yeah. You know? Yeah, it's difficult. I think it's difficult to, when you're in the thick of it, it's so much easier when you're on the other side. And hindsight is, you know, we're like sitting on the couch and being like, but it's like in the thick of it. Fuck. Like, I can't imagine like actually being addicted and then going through sobriety and continuing to struggle with that. Can't imagine it. It was like difficult enough to work through it with a family member
and watch it. Yeah.
Nonetheless, like actually actively going through it myself, like can't imagine.
Yeah. And that's why it's so frustrating for other people to talk or speak on addiction when they're like, I see it all the time. They're like, we should just kill them all. You know what I mean? Kill all the addicts, or we should like sterile them and even make them sterilized so they're not having kids and babies. But like, what if you would have done that to me, you know, and not given me the chance, and I want a family? And you know what I mean? I deserve happiness too, just because I've made some fucked up choices. Yeah.
And in of itself, you made your fucked up decisions based off of probably the unstable environment that you grew up in. Right. Which, like, you had no fucking deal with. You had a genetic roll of the dice, landed where you landed. Yeah. And you coped the way that you had to cope. Yep. It's like the same thing with my dad. Like, I totally, like, if you look at it from, like, a pattern recognition standpoint, you're like, okay, so A happened, which caused B, leading to C. Yep. Checks out.
But people don't think like that.
Yeah. And a thing that is really frustrating that I feel like I really live my life by is if I were to live that person's life and take every single step that person took, I would make the same decision over and over again. You know? Cut it over and over again. Mm-hmm. And who am I to say that, like, if you're in an affair, that's wrong, and like I'm coming from moral high ground, or I wouldn't reach for the bottle, or I wouldn't do X, Y, or Z. I would.
You would have no honestly, like, that's what I say when some people are like, addiction is addiction. You have no idea. You have
until it happens to you.
You have no clue until, and yeah, of course, people are probably in the same boat. Sure, they've been molested. Sure, they've gone through this. They probably have similar life experiences to me, but they don't have the same genetic makeup as me. They don't have, you know what I mean? They're not seeing it the way I'm seeing the perception. So it's a completely, everybody makes their own decisions the way that they choose to, unfortunately. Yeah. And I think it's just, it's a tough spot. But again, if you wouldn't have gone through that, you wouldn't be the person you are.
100%.
Like, literally, like, if your father was not an alcoholic, you would not have the skill set. You just wouldn't have it.
No, I'm like grateful for the stakes in my pants.
Exactly.
You know, it's like fucked up for a while. Like, especially when I went to school, I went to Malibu and I saw these really wealthy kids, and I was like, man, I was a fucking janitor. Yeah. Like, why couldn't have he had money? Right. Why the fuck did he have to be an addict? Right. Why? Yeah. And then, like, 4 years, I'm like, thank God he was an addict. Thank God he was shoving fucking ribeyes down my pants. Yeah. Thank God, because I don't want to end up like these kids. I got some fucking hustle and grit in me. Yeah. You know? Yep. When shit gets hard, I get harder. Yep. We're going to roll with this shit. Yep. And like these other kids,
Yep.
Spooked.
Mommy, daddy.
Yeah.
Help me. Like, that's what I always think about. Like, I'm not, I got to a point, of course, like early on, I'd be like, Mom, Dad, help. Mom, Dad, help. But I got to a point where they're like, you're on your own. And if they wouldn't have done that, I would not be here either. You know, like, you've got to figure it out. You're on your own, and it's going to be hard and it's going to be tough. But again,
it's part of it.
It's
how you get the texture.
100%.
If you're dealing with a parent who has had addiction, or a friend, or a loved one, or maybe you are, like, I would just say give yourself some compassion.
Compassion and willingness. I always think that's the key. If you're like, every time I speak to an addict, because I can hear it, like, I can just identify immediately. Like, get on the phone with somebody, I already know. Like, it's like I don't know what it is. But
it's a sixth sense.
Yeah, it's a sixth sense. I can hear it. And I would say if you are struggling personally with substance abuse, or you're kind of lost and you're like, is there help? What's going on? I would say the best thing to do is to reach out for help. Mm-hmm. Ask, hey, look, I'm struggling with this. What can I do? Because that's the only thing that changed.
Honesty.
Like, literally the first step is being like, I have a problem. I need help. Be real. Be willing to make a change. It's going to be scary. But like I said, I was stuck in it and be like, I didn't know I could go to rehab. I didn't know I could get help. I didn't know I could do these things because I just genuinely did not know. And it wasn't until somebody was like, hey, I think you have a problem. And they're like, you can get help. Or I was like, I can get help? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Just willingness. Yeah. Make a change.
Yeah. Great for you for going through these situations and being able to
have the best stories.
You know, really great stories. Bricks to the head, U-Hauls. It's good texture.
So many more. It's crazy.
Ribeyes in the fucking pants.
Jesus. Outback
Steakhouse goes wild. The Bloomin' Onion and getting fucking picked up with 4 kids in the back with a DUI.
God.
Wild. All right. Well, I do have to help Gab move. So I'm off to help.
Blowing you up?
Yeah, he is. Leaving now. Just finished. But this is a great episode. Thanks for being you, Kyla, and thanks for fighting the good fight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for allowing the space to kind of, just allowing the space. Mm-hmm. It's been, so grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, many more episodes to come.